2014 by Chris Carrington of the Activist Post. Worldwide, there has been a massive increase in cancers of all kinds since 1945. On Monday, July 16, 1945, in Alamogordo, Mexico, the first ever atomic bomb was tested. The bomb was called Trinity, which by definition means three things that are closely conjoined to form one new unit. It's also the name given to the Christian Godhead, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. But there was nothing holy about this alliance. The success of the Trinity test allowed progression to the main event, the nuclear bombing of Hiroshima on August 6, 1945, and Nagasaki on August 9, 1945. 16 hours after the Hiroshima bomb run, President Truman addressed the people of the United States, and you can read his full speech by clicking right here, if you wish. From July 16, 1945 to February 12, 2013, 530 nuclear devices have been air detonated, 528 tests, and the two bombs dropped on Japan. 1,525 underground tests have taken place during the same period. The basics. Nuclear explosions of any kind involve the conversion of atomic mass into energy by one of two processes, nuclear fission or nuclear fusion. Fission releases energy by splitting uranium or plutonium atoms, which creates radioactive elements. Fusion is triggered by a fission explosion that then forces tritium or deuterium atoms to combine into larger atoms, and this creates more powerful explosions than fission. Both of these reactions create three types of radioactive debris. Number 1, fission products. Number 2, activation products. Number 3, leftover products used in constructing the bomb that are radioactive but did not react during the process. By 1960, there wasn't a single place on Earth left untouched by these tests. Every soil sample, every water sample, and even every polar ice cap sample, Arctic and Antarctic, were contaminated. And there were still 50 years more testing to go to bring us to the present day, and the last test conducted by North Korea in 2013. The research. Simon, Bouville, and Land have found the following: both direct and indirect evidence that radioactive debris dispersed in the atmosphere from testing has adversely affected public health. Studies have demonstrated radiation-related risk of leukemia and thyroid cancer within a decade after exposure, followed by increased risk of other solid tumors in later years. Studies of populations exposed to radioactive fallout also point to increased cancer risk as a primary late health effect of exposure. As studies of biological samples, including bone, thyroid glands, and other tissues, have been undertaken, it has become increasingly clear that specific radionuclides in fallout are implicated in fallout-related cancers and other late effects. You can read the rest of the research right here if you wish. New research published in the journal Nature Communications has found that radioactive particles from these tests are still in the stratosphere, but volcanic reactions can cause them to move lower, into the troposphere. Their findings were confirmed after the eruption of this volcano, in Iceland, I believe, in 2010. Plutonium levels in the lower atmosphere increased. Fukushima. At 1446 on March 11, 2011, a massive magnitude 9 earthquake shook the Honshu region of Japan. And 40 minutes later, a huge tsunami devastated the northeastern coast of Japan. The Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power station, managed by the Tokyo Electric Power Company, TEPCO, was for the most part destroyed. 3 of the 6 reactors on the site were offline and undergoing routine maintenance. The remaining 3 were operational. All of the operational reactors were shut down at the time of the earthquake, but external power lines were cut. The reactors needed to be cooled even after shutdown, and to cool them you need power. Backup power was started and was working until the tsunami hit. The waves reached a height of 12 meters, wiping out the 10-meter-high seawall in front of the plant. The plant itself was designed with a maximum safety factor of 5.7 meters, well under the height of the wave. All backup power, and therefore cooling capacity, was wiped out an hour after the earthquake. Without any cooling, the reactors went critical, and all three suffered core meltdowns within 72 hours of the earthquake. Hydrogen released during the meltdown exploded, blowing out walls and demolishing the roofs of the buildings housing the reactors. Estimates vary as to how much cesium was released during these explosions, but the general consensus is that at least 168 times more was emitted than was produced when Hiroshima was bombed. The event was given an International Nuclear Event Score of 7, the same as Chernobyl. Seawater was pumped in to cool the reactors and used fuel ponds, which created over 100,000 tons of contaminated water, of which 10,000 tons was released into the Pacific Ocean over the course of the first week. In the 34 months since the Fukushima disaster, there has been literally hundreds of radiation leaks and contamination issues at the plant. Radioactive debris is washing up on the west coast of the United States, and there are reports of high radiation readings on beaches, and American sailors who assisted in the days following the quake and tsunami are finding out they have cancer. Radioactive iodine-131 has been detected in France, and radiation contamination has been detected in the southwest of the UK. Fish die-offs are increasing, and many have been tested and proved to have ingested high amounts of radioactive isotopes. Some scientists are also linking the recent spate of animal die-offs to the radiation from Fukushima. Just a few days ago, steam was escaping from one of the shattered buildings. TEPCO has not commented so far. Considering that Fukushima has released more radiation than 528 air detonation nuclear tests combined, and remembering that radiation from those tests is still affecting people around the globe to this day, the problems caused by Fukushima are going to be with us for generations. There are 437 operative nuclear power plants worldwide, and another 68 under construction. A dozen more are at the planning stage. Are we really so hungry for electricity that we are willing to risk annihilation to get it? What's the point if generation after generation will suffer increased cancer rates? There has to be a better way to live and to die. And that's going to do it for this report. I'll put a link at the bottom of the video. Thank you for watching. Please take care. Pink out.